If you had 30 minutes to hide from a nuclear blast, where would you go? The Winchester. And wait for it to all blow over. Don't forget to kill Philip. Hop in the nearest fridge. A kid in Fallout did this. Calm down, Indy. Oh, I've had to face this for real because here in Hawaii we got a false missile alert, but it took 40 minutes for the authorities to tell us that the real world, this is not a drill, missile alerts we were all getting were a drill after all. Since we're an island and we were told to shelter in place, I just sat down in my living room and waited, lol. That must have been so crazy. I saw photos of people putting their kids down into the sewers in the hopes that would protect them. I think I would just start calling people I love, but then you never know how you're going to react until you're in that situation. I also live in Hawaii and I experienced this. I was 18 and one day away from leaving to go back to college in the mainland. I was driving when I got the alert, so I immediately pulled over and called my boyfriend at the time, who was already back on the mainland, and told him that there was a missile heading our way and that I loved him. That was the worst phone call ever and the hardest goodbye. Go to Coles, buy a meat pie, eat it and sit on my porch. Are the Aussie way to go. Yep, I can't think of anything to shelter in, too much traffic in a car and on bike, foot, no hope of getting far enough away. Looks like it's a meat pie for me too. I think I'd choose a cornetto. There's a library in my town that is actually just under a mile from my house. It was originally a Tabasco drying warehouse, converted to an all-boys school, converted to the now library. The tobacco warehouse had a basement built to keep all reaches of moisture out for storage of the dry leaves. After the boys' school ran out of funding and the city board voted on construction of the library, it was discovered that just a few adjustments to the waterproof basement was needed to save us from the Ruskies. So now there is a nuclear fallout shelter just a few blocks from me, under a library. So I'll head there, grab a few armfuls of comic anthologies, and wait it out. All the time in the world, glasses shatter. Tabasco drying warehouse autocorrect, you scamp. Not too knowledgeable on the subject, but say you immediately hopped in your car and floored IT in the opposite direction. Would that be better than trying to find a nuclear-proof structure with supplies near you? You wouldn't be the only one that'd think it's a great idea, so fail, you die in traffic. Yes, 30 minutes would be enough to get to safety even from the largest ever detonation, so long as you can do till 70 miles per hour. If you grew up in the 1960s, hiding under the desk at school was good enough. That's why we practiced. And I have one of those desks from the 60s, so I'm good, if I can get under it. We used to do nerve gas drills in my high school. We happened to live next to the Dugway Army base in Utah, where they had enough nerve gas stored to wipe out the world several times over. As close to the nuke blast radius as possible. Better to be nothing but a shadow on the ground in one instant than to survive a few weeks dying of radiation poisoning. Plus you get to pick what kind of shadow you leave behind. Funny, thoughtful, physically impossible and good fodder for cryptid/alien conspiracy theorists. You've got 30 minutes to plan. If we're talking a full-scale nuclear war in which large numbers of bombs are going to be detonated all over the globe with massive fallout and the collapse of society, then yes, that would be my answer too. But if it's just one bomb by itself, I'd use the 30 minutes to get as far away from the blast as possible in the upwind direction from ground zero. I live in a rural area, so successfully driving far enough away to escape the worst of the blast effect of anything less than a Tsar bomb event, which all currently used warheads are way short of, should be pretty feasible. I'd take a crowbar, lift up a manhole cover and hide beneath the street. This doesn't seem like a terrible idea. Why do I need to go anywhere? A nuclear blast can legally not enter your house unless you give permission. I've heard your body can shut down the cancer-causing radiation if it's not an invited nuke. So if you get cancer after a blast, you must have invited it in. Slut. Also, if the blast doesn't show up within 15 minutes, you're legally allowed to leave. I don't even know. The only thing I remember from the CDC's disaster prep is to not use conditioner. Air conditioner or hair conditioner. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.